So before we dive into the fun questions, Hannah, tell us just a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Okay, so I'm Hannah. I'm 28. I'm a special education teacher. I teach autistic support. So my focus is social skills, emotional regulation. I recently got married. I've been married a year, and we have a puppy who's 10 months old. So we're very busy with and my husband's a teacher, so we are very busy with everything going on. Is that it?
That's perfect.
Okay.
I know it's kind of a hard question to answer right now anyway, because with our social isolating, we're all like, wait, what is it that I do again? So Hannah, tell us, if you can recall several months ago, why did you initially reach out for one-on-one coaching? What was maybe the problem that you were trying to solve and or the goal that you were trying to reach?
So I was actually thinking about this morning, and we got family pictures done in November, like the early November, and I didn't like what I saw. So that was like part of it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was trying to pick pictures to get printed that I felt that I looked good in, and I felt the pickings were very slim. And I had known for a while I wasn't comfortable with my body. I was trying to wear clothing to kind of hide things, and I I wasn't eating correctly. I wasn't on a solid workout plan, and I knew after seeing those pictures and kind of thinking about things and wanting to start a family soon, like I really needed to work on starting some healthy habits and getting in a good routine.
I love that. You had all the inspiration. And I think on that first call, you said, here's my plan, like for the next year. So I want to get started now, which I was so inspired by. I loved that. So a little bit of pain you were wanting to move away from, as far as like, I don't like how my body's responding to what I'm currently doing as far as nutrition and exercise. I know I want to create some change, but I'm also inspired to do that because here's what I want for my future family. Best case scenario. Were you at all afraid? Like, did you have any hesitation or any fear around applying and then taking action with coaching?
Yeah, I think so, because like we're not sure exactly what to expect when you sign up for coaching. It can traditionally, when I've started like a nutrition plan with someone at the gym, like they kind of throw everything you're eating out and you are eating like chicken and veggies, and it's very like cut and dry, and this is what you're supposed to do, and this is how many times you're supposed to be at the gym. And it's a lot, and you get overwhelmed and then you stop. So I think starting something again, I was a little hesitant to see what it would look like and if it was going to be doable for me and something I could
And
stick to.
tell us, waiting with bated breath, has this been different? And if so, how, from maybe some of those other things that you've tried?
Yes, completely different. One week you kind of work on one thing, and I think that's been the most helpful thing. I'm not changing everything at once. I'm working on one goal, and even if I don't accomplish that goal, I can continue working on it the following week. It's not something that absolutely you have to 100% do. It's kind of you go with what you're comfortable with, and you change little by little, and it's all added up very well. And the changes have just been amazing. And I guess what has it been, like 90 days, and I've stuck with things. I'm still doing what I'm my action steps, and it's been totally different than anything else I've ever done.
I want to hear about some of those changes, Hannah. But first, I think what you said is worth unpacking a little bit. So you are an email coaching client, which means that we actually don't hop on a live coaching call, but each week you get a video update from me and you're completing some documents for me. So I know how you're doing and how you're feeling and what's working and what isn't. And so each week we kind of progress. Sometimes that's in complexity, adding a new action step, but sometimes it's just in consistency, right? Like keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
And you are very disciplined. You each and every week are a rock star, crushing it. Like, okay, Nicole, this went so well. What's next? Or sometimes you have the ability to say, I think I just need a little bit more time to work on this. I need more time to grow the habit. So you have been so intentional with your practice, because the action steps and the behaviors don't matter if you don't execute them consistently, right? So giving you a little shout out there, because you have just been so disciplined with applying each and every action step. And when you do that, you're right, they build up in such a realistic and sustainable way compared to, here's 17 things, Hannah, go do them perfectly. Good luck.
Yes.
Doesn't work. So tell us about some of those changes, because you're right, you just hit the 90-day mark. We did a little reassessment together, and you were celebrating so many amazing wins on that reassessment. Tell us what some of the things are that you've seen and that you've felt as a result of the work that we've been doing together.
So one major thing is my sleeping. I'm sleeping so much better. And that was one of my action steps not so long ago, was to kind of get in a good bedtime routine. And I set my phone up that like at 8 o'clock, my apps kind of lock down almost. And, you know, to get into them is just more work, because you have to hit like, okay, I'm okay with breaking my lock and everything. And I set a bedtime, 9 o'clock bedtime. And my alarm set for 5:20, and that gives me over 8 hours of sleep. And I'm sticking with it, even now with being off work for a little bit. Same thing last night. Like, I went to bed when I was supposed to go to bed. I might have slept in a little more because I didn't have to get up. But the sleeping, I'm sleeping through the night. I'm not waking up at 3 o'clock and struggling to get back to sleep. Staying asleep, that's been a huge thing. Something else that's been very big is my clothing fits better. I probably about last year at this time, I had to get some new work pants because everything was just really uncomfortable. And I recently bought like 3 new pairs of pants from Target, and they were just in like small, medium, large sizes. But, you know, I always go for that medium. And I've probably should have returned one of them and gotten a small. And that's like the first time ever I can remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, you need a size small in your pants. And I feel good. I think that's the other big thing. I love to shop. So I have, as my husband would say, too much clothing in my closet, and I don't wear near enough of it. And I'm wearing things that I haven't worn probably since I bought it, because I don't need to try and figure out how I can put a cardigan over it to kind of hide things. I'm comfortable just wearing a blouse and not covering up, which is not happened in a really, really long time.
That's huge, Hannah, like big quality of life stuff, not needing to hide in your own life or behind bulky clothes. And you referenced your husband. One of the coolest moments for me as a coach thus far was when you said that he, out of the blue, right, unprompted, was noticing and called you out basically for these healthy habits that you've been executing, and how much more, you know, positive it's just kind of created your food environment at home. Tell us a little bit about that.
He's not unfortunately, he's come along for the ride. When I cook dinner, I cook for both of us. So he kind of has had to eat what I eat, and our meals have definitely changed a lot. With both being teachers, we get home varying times of the evening. So before I started with you, it was whatever was convenient. If it was that box of mac and cheese and chicken tenders, that's what it was for the night. And I think if you went in my cupboard, you wouldn't even find a box of mac and cheese anymore. It's not something I'm buying. So he's noticed big time that our eating has changed, and he is the first one to tell me when he sees a difference in something, because I feel like I struggle to always see it in myself. But he's not let me like not realize anything. He's come, you know, your pants look looser. Or even the other day, he said something about my rings on my finger. Like, your rings are kind of moving around on your finger. So he's my biggest fan and supporter, which is so great.
He's forcing you to celebrate those wins, which is everything. I love that. Hannah, the coolest thing for me was on your recent reassessment, you mentioned that this feels like a sustainable lifestyle, which you know is so, so, so important to me, because all those other things you mentioned before, whether it was a program at the gym or some type of nutrition plan or diet, they work, but for how long? And then we go right back to where we were. So I guess my question for you is, and I already know the answer, but does this feel like something that will last and carry with you for life? Does it feel like something you can stick with, or does it feel like something short term?
No, this is something that is going to be the rest of my life. I If we go out to eat, which now is very, very rare, and I order something that I'm not used to eating, my body feels it. Like if I don't eat like how I've been eating here at home, it's not good. So it's completely changed my body. I think how my body is like processing food, all of it. So it's a lifestyle now. It's definitely not changing.
Something I often catch myself saying is that we just don't know how great we can feel. And I think what you just described is the perfect example of that. We live in a convenience culture and we get caught up in doing things that feel comfortable and we have time for. But what we've done over this past couple of months is kind of open your eyes to how great you can feel, not just physically, but mentally.
Mhm.
And now that you know, you don't want to go back. So it's incentivizing to continue the action steps because you want to continue reaping those results, which is amazing.
It's great.
So Hannah, final question. Someone is in the shoes that you were in last fall. They maybe don't like how they feel. They don't like their current nutrition habits and what they're doing as far as movement isn't all that hot, and they don't like the outcome. What would you suggest to that woman? What advice do you have for her?
One step at a time. Make those small, tiny changes. And I actually just told someone that the other day. They were like, "Oh, I'm starting with the trainer at the gym," and they gave me this meal plan, and I was like, "Oh, like, are you really?" Not to sound mean, I was like, "But are you really gonna make all these huge changes at once? Like, is it really doable to you?" And they just kind of looked at me and like cocked their head. And I tried it multiple times. I really, really did, and I'd stick with it for a tiny amount of time, and then it's so easy to, like, slide back into your old habits. But with this, like, changing the one thing at a time and kinda just building on everything, it works. It really, really works, and I would recommend it to anybody, and it's worth everything.
And you're not even at the big, powerful goal yet, right? You still have progress to make, and this is just 3 short months into your journey. So I am so excited for the progress I know that you're going to see because of how far you've come already. And it's truly been a pleasure to be your coach, and I can't wait to see you grow and make progress.
Well, I
I
can't thank you enough because it's all because of you that I've made these changes and I've been successful.
You're the one doing all the hard work. So I'm always here, always in your corner, happy to help you grow that progress. But at the end of the day, remember, consistency is everything. So if you are not able to consistently execute, we don't actually get the outcomes. So way to go, my friend. You are crushing it. So excited for you.
Thank you.